Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We missed the day with the Big Gamer Small Talk podcast. I haven't, the KD was joining. Tim somewhere. Hold up, let me mute myself in the back. Tim is somewhere at the AA meeting. I don't know what's going on with Tim. He might not be here today, but Mega's joining. I haven't seen Bot. He's somewhere on Gilligan's Island. But I have Craps here.
What's up? Hey, how's everybody?
D. I got the real masculine. I got Mr. Console himself.
Yes, sir.
And the man, someone else dropping by today. You never know. Surprise. Rich, maybe anybody? Anybody out there? The Red Dragon? Anyway, so like I said, I've been talking to you guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's been rocking out with us on Patreon, has been supporting us. They've been, to the super chat family. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate it. Also, too, we got a winner for the Star Wars Battlefront 2 giveaway. I'm gonna reach out to you today via email. I've been a little behind, a little under the weather. I haven't checked my emails in like 4 days, but we do have a winner. I didn't know it was coming up that soon. I kind of forgot all about it. So I'm going to I'll get your name and I announce it here, and I'll send you the code or whatever you got to get. But anyway, like I said, I haven't spoken to Crap, so maybe I'll come to him last. But I haven't even spoken to D. Really, I haven't spoken to you either about what you think about the X and everything. I guess we want to start with D.
It's a beast.
Yeah, right?
It is. It's
right.
It's exactly.
Talk to me. What are your thoughts? How do you feel? Are you happy? I was gonna say this one thing. Little disclaimer. I remember me was like pulling teeth before Crap. You said you were really into the graphics.
I was into graphics. I just thought I was a little bit concerned about there being sort of like a kind of a Cold War with the updates. Oh, but getting over that, right? I don't whatever. Like, it's a hobby. People spend a ton of money for their phones every couple of years or a year and a half. So I got over, you know what I mean? And I'm playing this thing and I'm like,
okay,
you know what? Here's the thing, as far as I'm concerned, right? Like, I know PC is like, all those guys are like, man, the 4K, we've had that forever, even though less than 1% actually use 4K.
So come on, man.
So we have four, like, it's not just 4K. That's cool by itself, but it's that 4K HDR. I'm hooked on both of those things, right? It's like the combination. And realistically, like, the majority of games that are doing that are only on the Xbox One X. Right? Like, even PC doesn't have HDR on a lot of these things. No. So it's the combination of these things that really blows me away. And it's like, I guess I'm like a 4K HDR snob now. I can't.
Know what? Crap, just to add on what you're saying, I think it's with the better textures and the implementation of HDR takes it to a new level. You know what I mean? Like, just like I said, the first game I played was What's the first game that you played? First game you put in?
I ended up playing Forza Motorsport 7.
Okay.
And then I played Assassin's Creed. I played Call of Duty World War II. Looks absolutely amazing. I played Gears 4. I played Halo 5. I played Halo 3, which Halo 3, good Lord.
I haven't tried it yet.
Halo 3 looks amazing. I didn't think, like, how the hell did they do that? I won't know. I played Gears 3. That looks amazing. These games, what they've done with this thing, blows my mind what they've been able to accomplish with the Xbox One X. I've got so many games I don't even know where to go next. I got Shadow of War, Wolfenstein 2.
Yes.
Madden looks crazy.
Doesn't it?
It does.
The same thing. Madden looks bananas. Like,
I was like, wow.
Guy.
Yeah.
I said the same.
It was completely amazing. Like, this thing has exceeded my expectations. It's quiet. It doesn't get hot. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't turned on anything else since I got it.
Is that me or just him? So long?
It's been
so long.
What's that?
Does it sound low for you guys?
No, it sounds normal to me.
Low? Yeah, I should sound normal. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's me. I'm sorry.
No, crap sound crispy.
I'm sorry. That's me. I got so many damn headsets. Man, sorry, I had the wrong headset on. Exposed. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's amazing. Like, it's but the problem is I''ve been jumping from one game to the next. So it's not like I did beat Call of Duty World War II. I've been playing some Sonic Force. I've been playing a bit of everything.
A lot of games, Crap. Dang.
I know, dude. That's my vice. That's my vice. You know what I mean? I just buy games after games after games, and, like, to me, it doesn't even matter. You know, sometimes I'll play it, sometimes I won't, but I still buy it. And I got Battlefront 2. I played 10 hours in that.
I haven't even tried it yet, really.
Oh my God, Z, what are you doing? Play the campaign part. Like, play the first 2 levels of the campaign, and you're gonna be blown away.
Hey, crap! It's just too much, man. Listen.
Dude, that is the best graphics I've ever seen.
Listen, I'm a man that cheats on his wife, that beats his kids. I don't have time to play everything. Right? Listen, I'm serious, but I will say just one thing, and that's I won't say this gift and the curse, because there's so much. I know there's a lot of games they went back in any hands. I already had a back catalog, right?
Yeah, so did I.
People were telling me, "Yo, Ghost Recon looks crazy." I want to try that. You know what I mean? I like co-op games. I can run through with my friends and, take care of the missions. I want to try that. Fonzo Relli, shout out to him. He talked me into putting in Assassin's Creed, because I wasn't waiting for that, right? And I forgot what I think I was playing Need for Speed. I was going to go from Need for Speed to Gears. Zaire, put in Assassin's Creed. And I'm going to say this. It reminded me of Rise. I'm a big Rise fan. The whole hack and slash. It reminded me a lot of Rise. And I was like, oh, my God, this is beautiful. It blew my mind. I wasn't expecting
It's
that.
like, it's so impressive, and just for me, the 4K and the HDR, even it doesn't even have, like, when you say 4K, it doesn't even have to be like native. Like, the dynamic stuff is fine. It looks so good. It surprised me, right? I was ready to be like, man, this isn't nearly a good enough leap for $500, but I got to thinking about it. I was like, man, I paid $500 for the original Xbox One, and that thing looks terrible compared to this, 4 years later, and I paid $500 for a new console, and it's damn near next gen.
Yeah,
it's
no pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. It's next gen 4K.
Next gen 480. So disrespectful. Hey D, you there, good brother D?
Yeah, man.
You there with that eyes and shit? You there, bro?
Well, even goats are impressed.
Yeah. Because I haven't spoken to you about the console. What you I watched your videos. Shout out to you. Your name is getting out there. Congrats, man. I see a lot of people running with you.
I made a video on his video about the 4K.
I'm happy for you, good brother. What do you?
Hey, what about that Assassin's Creed stuff? You got to, that was a little bit of a thing, huh?
Listen, I told D not to do it. I told D. So listen, man. Remember, you remember the Joe Montana?
Yeah.
How that shady met us in the alley with the trench coat. The same guy that told us about Joe Montana was the same guy that so hard at the 4K TV, and he had the nerve to inbox me not too long. I said, "Get the fuck up on inbox."
Dude, what's funny about that, Z, is we saw Joe Montana was at the Microsoft campus.
Yes.
When we were in the middle of doing this. Yes, he was. He's like, it's so great here. The first time I've ever been here. And we're like, oh, it's happening. It's really happening. And then
hey, crap. Aaron, ain't nobody talk me off that bridge, man.
I know. I still get shit for that, man. They're like, remember that time you were talking about Joe Montana football? I was like, yeah.
I said, man, beware those guys, man. Somebody developers. Beware those guys, man. But what do you think about the console, D? I know you're more of a PC guy. And you buy a majority of multiplats on PC. Is the X enough to pull you away from that, or make you spend more time on your console? What do you think about the console itself?
Well, I can say in the last week, I spent more time on my console than I have in the last 6 months. In all honesty, apart from the frame rate, these games are almost indistinguishable from the PC. The level of fidelity, these games are running high ultra settings, and for those of us that game on PC, between high and ultra, it's like two little notches. It's really not much of a difference if you're really gonna see it unless you zoom into it. And the Xbox is doing ultra on a lot of games, and if not, it's doing high. And just the fluidity, I'm playing some of these games and I'm comparing them on PC, and some of these games are actually a smoother experience on the Xbox One X than I'm actually getting on my PC. And my PC is no joke. I have a serious PC. My mind is just blown. I knew that it was going to be a good system. I didn't think they would blur the lines this closely. Need for Speed, Battlefront, Assassin's Creed looks amazing. Assassin's Creed looks amazing, and most people's PCs, let's say the high-end rigs, they're going to run that game at 4K. They're not getting 60 frames per second. You know what I'm saying? They're not. They're going to have to lock it at 30 because it'll be a janky mess otherwise. Even the GTX 1080 Ti, it's not really hacking that game at 60 frames per second. It's just not. So in a situation like that, I said, you know what? I'm not going to get the PC version. I'm going to get the Xbox One X version because it looks phenomenal. my mind is just blown, and I'm excited for console guys because I've been on PC like you guys know, so I'm used to some of these ultra textures and like 4K games. The console guys, they're not used to this, so their minds are just blown at how the same game can look so much better on the X compared to their Xbox One S or their PS4 Pro. It's a night and day difference. And for $500, I was one of those guys that said, no, you got to price it at $399, $500 is too high. I was in that camp at the beginning. But now that I actually have the system and putting it up against my $1,400 system, nah, man, for $500, Xbox One X, it's a masterpiece. They really hit it out the park, and it's selling like hotcakes already. Like, it was a report today, 80,000 units sold in the UK, which is tied with the Switch. What the Switch sold. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna follow the same trajectory, but that's a good start. And you
know what, LSD? Here's the thing, right? So it tied with the Switch started with, but it also it took the PS4 Pro a month to do that in the UK. And you can also see the difference in the multi-plats. They're selling better on Xbox One now that week. You know what I mean? Like Assassin's Creed, all the big 4K hitters. Like, everybody's like, no, nobody's going to care. They're just going to keep their PS4s. They don't care. No, they care. You know what I mean? They want to play the best versions on the console. These are console gamers, and a lot of them went to PS4 from 360 simply because, and the games played better. Now that's switched, and they play better, and the more powerful consoles, the Xbox One X. That's hard for the PlayStation fans to understand. There are console loyalists, like I'm one. I know there's some PlayStation guys, but there's also people that just will play best. You know what I mean? There's no brand loyalty there, so they're going to move on.
Well, just to add to that, I don't know why people were thinking otherwise, because I would say 65% of the PlayStation base, they've been all about resolution, and it's a more powerful system this generation. They've been that, and for them to sit there and know that they have the inferior version, and it's a much bigger divide than what it is between 900p and 1080p. Like, you're getting like 40, 50, 60% differences in these games. And it's really hard for them to swallow that. A lot of them are going to jump back, and they're going to make an excuse. Okay, you know what? I'm going to keep my PS4 for the exclusives, and I'm just going to get all my multi-plats on the Xbox One X. But you know what? They're still going to grab the X for whatever reason.
Well, and also another thing that's really
there he is, K-Mega.
Yeah. So another thing that's bananas is that there are so many PlayStation games that's going over to PC now that if you have a high-end PC, you still get the better experience more than you do from the PlayStation 4 box or the Pro. I mean, like, I got Nier, I got Tales of Vesperia, Neo, and just a couple other games. Dragon's Quest 1 and 2. All those games run and play a hell of a lot better than my standard PlayStation 4 that I have. And I mean, I'm not going to play Nier on the regular PlayStation. You see what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where the Xboxes now set the tone, and it's good to see that the consoles are trying to, well, especially for Xbox, to go after PC, not per se to be the enemy, because Microsoft is PC, but just for the sense of competition, and to say, look, we're right on your tails. We were on top at one point in time. You've taken the lead dramatically, and now it's time for us to start catching back up, and the consoles need to have a bigger place.
You know what? I think it was time for a system like this to be put out to move the industry forward. I think at the beginning of this generation, it wasn't really as awe-inspiring. If you go back to the 360 and the PS3 generations, when we had that Gears of War 1, man, Joe, that was like, wow. But what I would say in regards to the Xbox One X is you have to see this console in person. I don't want to see you on Facebook looking at compressed videos. I don't want to see you on YouTube looking at compressed videos saying, oh, it's on par with the Pro. No, you have to have this system in your living room, on your TV. And do not judge this system by enhanced titles. Because these enhanced titles, developers are just bumping stuff, adding res that when in the next year or two, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
What did Albert Pinello say?
Competition.
What did Albert Pinello say? Didn't he say like, you know?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, because if you look at it, the developers from E3 to now, developers only had 5 months with the dev kits. So everything you seeing now, they really haven't had a really chance to, you know, stress test engines, you know, do what they do to really muster it and get everything out of the system. So what we're seeing now is just them just, you know, enhancing the titles with the time that they're giving and probably moving on to the next stuff they got coming down the line. But even Albert Pinello said, Joe, wait till a year or two now, man, you're really going to see what this system does once the developers get a hand on it. And it's going to be crazy, man. But you have to see this system in person to really appreciate what it's doing.
And the best part about it, to add on what Post-Up was saying, is how far things are going to move in the direction we all want it to go, because this system is basically the bridge from where we were as far as system creation and game creation to where we can be and where we all want to go. As a PC guy, this system pulls consoles up to where there is a playing field now for the developers to not only take advantage of the consoles, but take advantage of the PC architecture itself.
Facts.
That the consoles are made off of. It's all x86. So it's all the same architecture. It's all going to push software development forward in a fashion that we have needed. Just like we were saying earlier, is the leap between the PS3 360 generation and the Xbox One PS4 generation was not that big. But the leap between the Xbox One to the Xbox One X is a chasm. And that showing that improvement is going to let developers start to take advantage of the hardware that they now have and be able to scale it down just like a computer. Because now, since everything is designed the same, all you have to do, design for the PC, and then just scale it back a little for the Xbox One X, scale it back some more, not a little.
Let me ask you a question.
And make everything else match. So
let me ask you a question, Mass. And I know you're the tech. You and Post are the techie guys from Broadband, you know. And I'm just not no fan. I'm just being the casual. I told you guys I put the C in casual and sometimes the C in Caucasian. That's me, right? Uncle Tom. Now, with that being said, though, looking at games like Star Wars Battlefront 2, right? And is it really that much scale back? You know what I mean? You know, I'm just looking, you know, my man D showed the Ryzen chip. He showed it running on that. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what you pay for your PC, D, $12,000. But we're talking about you comparing to a $500 goddamn console.
And that's the thing, is that like I said, the scale back is not big. Like, it's literally like if I was on my PC and it was running a little hitchy, the frame rate was running a little hitchy, you know, I had little hiccups here and there. I turned the shadows from ultra to high or high to medium. That's literally all they did. It's not changing everything across the board. It's individual tweaks. Now, like the PS4 and even the PS4 Pro, they are going, this is what PC can run at this setting. Let's turn it to medium. Oh, it's still not working. Let's turn it to low. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now it's kind of stable. Can we turn this up? Can we turn this up? Can we turn this up? With the Xbox One X, they're working in the opposite direction. They're saying we're starting at high, you know, ultra. We're starting it as high as we can. Which individual things that are going to take load off can we turn down one setting and have the game run the same way it was?
Well, don't forget about the secret sauce.
Yeah, not only that.
I mean, no. Don't forget about that, because remember, those things that was supposed to alleviate some of the pressures. So when developers wanted to use different type of things, that was going to help maximize what they wanted to do. You know, and so it can be great.
To elaborate on what Mass was saying, Phil Spencer spoke of this some months ago when they had that big meeting with the developers. Okay. They specifically told them to start at the highest PC settings when bringing their titles over to the X. They wanted them to start. Now, I forgot which the name of the developer. I may recall it at some point during the show. But he basically said was usually when coming over from PC to console dev kits, is usually a dramatic decrease in regards to the quality. When they bringing it over, they have to, you know, scale back a whole lot. But with the X, it wasn't like that. They was able to bring it over in the way that it was, and not have to scale back that much. So to allude what Matt's saying, when they coming over to the X from the PC, it's not really that much things they have to remove. A little tweaks here and there. They might pull some things back just a little bit, but not as much as if they was going from PC to the base PS4 or to the base Xbox One.
Just to add to that, my observation from my Star Wars comparison, it looks like it's running at 3200 by 1800, so 1800p, and it looks like it's a dynamic scaling engine, and it goes up and down comparing to load. I didn't see it drop past 1800p, but I'm not an expert pixel counter, so like let's wait for Digital Foundry, those guys to do it. And I noticed the shadows look like they were turned down a notch, and I noticed that the aliasing was a different method of aliasing. Aside from that, from what I could see, it was running a hybrid of like high ultra settings, so it was looking excellent.
But that's to be expected, D. Like I said, with these enhanced games, and I see a lot of people trying to give Microsoft flack for the uncompromised 4K slogan. They didn't lie about that. Just because you're not seeing it now on these enhanced games, they didn't lie about that. Give it some. These enhanced games is not what you need to gouge that system by, because it's just tweaks. So you're going to see dynamic scalers. Developers are not going to put that much resources into these enhancements. You know what I'm saying? But wait, it's coming.
The funniest part is the PlayStation people who are laughing at it because they were like, the 1080p makes you a better gamer, and all that stuff, right? But the crazy part is that all games on PS4 weren't even 1080p, but you was cool with that. Facts. But it's a problem that every single game is not 4K native, every second of every day on the Xbox One X. That is the craziest thing in the world.
And let's be honest, you need a really beefy rig to be doing 4K 60. And to be completely honest, there is no GPU on the PC right now that does 4K 60 on every game. Not even the GTX 1080 Ti. It doesn't do 4K 60 every game. And Mas can speak on this. Being a PC guy, I like frame rates. So sometimes a game, I'll give you an instance. Need for Speed. Need for Speed, it hovers like 45, 50 frames per second, has drops in and there. I said screw it, and I just lock it at 30 frames per second when I'm playing it on the PC. Or if I want to do the 60 frames per second and I want, I'll take a little hit in the image quality, and I'll put it at 3200 by 1800p, and it'll run 60 frames per second. And on PC, we do this all the time. So these PC guys say, oh, it's not running 4K. I like to see your rig that runs every game at 4K 60 frames per second, because there's no card out there that's a complete, absolute 4K 60 frames per second card.
Right, and it's like, just like Dee was saying, it's crazy how much every PC gamer who's like, oh, what happened to the uncompromised 4K? What happened to the uncompromised? My rig runs uncompromised. Just like Dee was saying, like every single person tweaks the settings. Every single one. There was a post in Bang Bang where a dude put up some Forza footage running on a 1050 or something like that, I think. Or it was like a 1060, something like that, running at 4K 30 on low. And then he was like, look, it can do it. If you don't get the hell out of here with that, why would you even do that? Who would do that?
But then they turn around and try to downplay the X for making certain compromises to run games at a certain level, resolution, or frame rate, when PC's been doing this for years.
Hey, everybody on PC
turning this down, turning that down.
or better yet, the trolls that were attacking me on the Assassin's Creed thing, I'm a liar.
You got attacked?
Now, the same group of guys were on Twitter. They were going at it with Cult. And the guy put up, he goes, yeah, my GTX 1060 does Forza at 4K ultra settings. And a lot of these guys, they just took his word for it because they don't play on PC. So I looked at his settings. And then when I looked at his settings, like, He tweaked them. First of all, he took a lot of the settings off of Ultra, put them on high. He put like the car model at high instead of Ultra. It wasn't running what an Xbox One X settings, the equivalent is running it on Forza in the game. So these guys, like, they're liars. If you want to do what the Xbox One X is doing right now or come close to it, you're going to need a GTX 1070.
What I don't understand is why are the people that supposedly drive a Ferrari, why are they worried about the Honda? You know what I mean? Like,
facts.
Like, honestly, like, that's how you can tell that they're shook, is because a real dude, if you got, look, the most badass people in real life that I've met were the ones that were the quietest, right? It's not the one that's running his mouth. It's the badass. It's the one that's quiet sitting there, right? That's the guy. So the people that are running their mouths about their beast PCs and all that stuff, like, I had somebody message me on Xbox Live. They go, PCs are better value than consoles. Like, out of the blue. I was like, that explains you messaging me over Xbox Live, right? I mean, that shows the insecurity. Anytime you get PC dudes come out of the woodwork, they're insecure and they're upset because they probably spent more and are getting less performance than the X. And I get that. But don't blame me. You know what I mean? Like, it's not my thing. If you chose PC, you can easily just choose Xbox as well. You know, it's
here's the question in crap.
Guys, they have a GTX 970 in their rig. They have an RX 580. It's not performing at the same levels. And I think what these guys are really pissed off about, to be honest with you, is that the Xbox One X, from 1 to 100 miles per hour, it's keeping up with the PC. Now, once it gets to 150 miles per hour, the PC starts to edge itself out. But they're just pissed that it's even in the race and that it can maintain somewhat with the PC, and I don't understand why. It's a different.
This is a mid-gen.
I've seen a lot of the master PC race really upset about this. Yeah. Even the PC magazines, like the PC Gamers, who done that test on trying to see
what was the name of that damn site?
Yeah, it was PC Gamers, and even it was on there kind of salty that it was really blurring the line. Fake PC, and it was salty because when he got the box, he immediately downplayed it before he played it, and then when he did play it, he was amazed that it was running up there with some of the PC rigs, and he still downplayed it. Came out of the box saying this fake PC. Like, I really don't understand.
Here's a question. This is the question that I asked, and something that I was conversating with Rich with the other day behind the scenes, even before we did the thing, and he was like, "Yo, bro, I don't know why." Because Rich more or less plays on PC, you know what I mean? Even though he talks about the consoles, you know, this tech channel, he games on PC. So I don't get it with those guys. Like, why are they, you know, trying? And I've always said this too. Like, why are you comparing your personal computer to a console? No one cares about your screensaver, how many gigs of RAM you had, your 259, whatever. No one cares. I've been doing, like I said, been partaking in this console gaming for a very long time. I'm 39 years young, right? I've never heard someone come on the schoolyard and say my Macintosh would dance circles around your NES. Never heard that before, ever. You know what I mean? Like, listen, I'm serious. I've never heard that in a debate. I heard someone bring up the TurboGrafx 16. I heard the Neo Geo, the Atari, Jaguar.
They even include Word documents now. I can do my work on my computer, and I can do that. Can you do that on the X?
Don't want to.
No, right?
I don't want to. You know,
those are the people. Those are the people you ignore, and that's why I say it all the time. Like, any of these PC dudes who's like, I could build a $600 computer for, you know, or a $500 computer that'll destroy the X. You're a liar. That's the first thing. The second thing is, anybody who's going out there to build a PC is not looking to try to beat the Xbox One X. They looking to try to beat the best computer they've ever seen. That's what they looking to do. They're not out here looking to make a super budget rig to beat a $500 console. They're trying to make a PC. Anybody who's doing the I can beat this thing is doing it for YouTube views, period.
But here's the thing:
they're not gaming on it. They're never gonna touch that system again. They are literally trying to make it so that they can get clicks. But other than that, no one is ever going to try to build that system in real life.
Why I raised the question, and we can go to something with some others. So, who's to blame? The digital foundries? Because they keep it going. You know, when they compare the X next to the GTX, whatever the hell. You know what I mean? I didn't. Not that I care anyway. I don't care. Whatever you do, you know what I mean. But that, I guess, keeps it going. Because if you go to that comment section, oh, look at those frames, look at those dips. I'm just looking as a console gamer. Listen, I'm looking as a console gamer. I never once complained about a different resolution. You know, I never the frame. You know, that's not a big deal to me. The reason why I choose to play on consoles and many other people for the simplicity of it. I've tried PC gaming. With the Xbox would play anywhere. Not a big fan of it. I even tried that once and it crashed. Like I'm not boot up the game from my desktop. I'm not into it. It's not for me. I'm not knocking those that like it. It's just not for me. And it's not for a lot of quote unquote console gamers, right? And to be fair, right? I understand they didn't like when I said this. I understand that there are more quote unquote personal computers out there in the wild. I get it. There's a lot of people out there playing Minesweeper, right? But you can't pick one graphics card, whatever the hell, that I can tell you that's not going to outsell the Xbox One or it's going to outsell the X. It's a fucking fact. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I know there's 1,000 different iterations out there, but if you just take one card and if you want to compare that one card to compare it to the sales of whatever console with fucking damn circles around it. You know what I mean? But to me, in a different light, I don't recall the Pro getting as much scrutiny.
No, and that was the point that I was going to make, was that PlayStation fans are really pissed off as well, because the PlayStation is really basically insignificant. And even though Andrew House, before he left, he was saying that the PlayStation was about to, had the only competition that they need to worry about was PC.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And now it's totally reversed. Like and PlayStation fans are pissed off because you just hear the venom in their tweets and their messages. Well, we're hearing about these Xboxes bricking and breaking and all of this and all of that, and nobody's really talking too much about PlayStation right now. It's all about the X and PC, because this console is the very first console that is caught up to this new age PC. So it's insane, and there's a lot of hate going around. And really, if you know what I'm saying, on the kumbaya moment, we should all just be happy that the big three are back.
Bro, that ain't never happen.
I know that ain't gonna happen, but I'm just saying.
Never be peace. Let me tell you.
No, there ain't gonna never be peace. But I'm just saying,
it would never be peace.
Doing good. PlayStation's doing good, and now Xbox is finally got their footing. And here we go.
Hey, brother, listen. I don't know where you live in Wonker. Was it really the chocolate factory? Like you sound just as naive.
No. I said just a kumbaya moment. I didn't say that this was.
It would never. Listen, that's just. Let me tell you something. And I didn't realize this, right? Even I don't care what community you pick on YouTube. There's a war going on. Whether it's Hachitachi 2000 versus Panasonic, doesn't matter. You go to those AV forums. What's better? I remember the Blu-ray versus HD DVD. That's just I just want to say the error in man and say, hey, they want to validate their purchase, or my such and such is better than yours. That's never going anywhere. Now I will say this though, since I stumbled upon this community, I don't recall it being as toxic. You didn't see rape and all types of weird shit that didn't set this generation. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. But like I said, you just got your ex on Friday.
I got it Friday.
And I didn't, Megan, word up. I didn't even know you didn't have a goddamn console, right? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts? First game you played, what are you stuck on? Talk to me.
Oh man, the first game that I put in was The Witcher, and I didn't see, it didn't see those enhancements because the game has the enhancements, but it felt smoother. I seen that. I felt that right off the bat.
That's the first game you played was Witcher. Jesus, all right, okay.
Yeah, it hasn't been enhanced yet. It's coming though.
Yeah, but it felt smoother. There was more detail. You seen that right off the bat. It's just that it wasn't. You didn't see the enhance. And then after that, I was trying to get Gears and Halo 5 to play, but I had to reinstall those. Those were some of the hiccups that some Xbox fans, me included, had when it launched. But I put in Assassin's Creed. I put in Shadows of War.
But you were playing Assassin's Creed already, though, right? You were already playing it, right?
No. I just turned it on just to see what it looked like. Got to that big dude that you fight in the very beginning, and then I cut it off. I was like, I'm going to wait for the
Rise. It really reminds me of the whole finishing. I like the way they. I heard some people complaining about the new combat style.
Yeah,
I like the way they've done it because the game has to involve. I like the whole RPG element that they added to it. Yeah. I'm really listen. They really. I don't know how long were they making this game. I know.
I think they took a. I think this development cycle was longer than other ones.
It was longer because
they was doing them every year.
Yeah.
I think
they took their time.
They took a step back, like because they had to really reassess the development after the last one and the fan feedback they got back from the last one. So they just.
I know they have two teams, like the Call of Duty team. They have two teams, but I'm just saying the level of detail that they paid to the game. I was walking around, I was looking at it like, Jesus Christ, like this is beautiful. Like I was like really blown away. I was not expecting that again. Like I said, I think maybe Gears I started playing the campaign for the X, and I was like, some of those boards, the level of detail, installation, the particle effects, like, oh my God, and Gears of War.
God rays.
Yeah, it's my religion, man.
And I
went hearing nothing but good things about Assassin's Creed across the board. Everybody who's played it,
I was taking
great impressions.
Yeah, I was taking. I would just play. I was playing, and then I would just be in awe of something that I seen, and I would just get up and I would take a picture of it with my phone, and then I would post it on Twitter or Facebook, whatever.
Throwing salt in the wounds, huh?
You know me. Anyway, no, I'm just saying. But I was like, you can't be serious. And then I finally got a chance to see, because everybody was saying that the game to look at was Gears, and I played Halo, and Halo vibrant. The colors are beautiful in Halo.
Halo 5, yeah.
But yeah, Gears, Quantum Break, Shadow of War. I know Rise don't have the.
Dude, play the first Assassin's Creed. That game looks amazing.
See, I'm going to. I got it too.
Assassin's Creed 1?
Dude, Assassin's Creed 1 is 4K.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. And the funny part is the free updates that we're getting for the games we already own are better than the remasters that are coming out. That's the one thing that I'm super happy about with the X is Microsoft has taken it upon themselves to make sure that we take our libraries with us, and they look better. So we don't have to worry about, oh man, that game looks like shit, because they look amazing. Halo 3, Gears 3. Did you guys see
Gears
those?
3 look like a modern gen game.
It looks amazing. Yeah.
Titanfall 2 looks great. Titanfall 2 looks amazing now. I guess they got it patched. Right, because if they have
they patched it again.
Okay, because I was like, damn, that look good. I've seen Tomb Raider. I just kept going through games. Now, Z, this is what's going to trip you out.
Talk to me.
For anybody out there that has Virtual Fighter 5,
I haven't tried it yet, but I heard.
Please boot it up. Please boot it up. It looks like it looks so good. It almost looks like Dead or Alive. It's so.
So you say Virtual Fighter 5 look better than Tekken 7?
No, Tekken 7. I played my Tekken 7 on there. It looked good. Of course, it didn't have the enhancers, but it did look good. Final Fantasy looked great. Tomb Raider looked great. I was just going through games.
Tekken 7 was said to I guess the enhancements is coming, but I know there was on the list.
You see the DLC from the guy from
I did. It's pretty. It's unique. It's unique.
Yeah, I like that.
But it ain't coming out until spring. If there's one thing that I've been disappointed with Tekken, in that, Tekken is my heart, but I've been disappointed with the DLC packages, because there's only been just one character, and really what the promise of it was. Well, I was listening to other bigger YouTubers that supposed to have been in the know, saying that they were going to add these new characters, these special guest characters, with older characters to make a comeback. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like there was supposed to be a Wei-Lu Long. I can't say his name right now. Anyway, Lei, and then there was other character Bruce, and all these other characters are supposed to be coming in, and we haven't seen anything. Harada is slipping a little bit, man, and that's disappointing.
It fell off the map, didn't it?
No, listen, it goes back to what I said, is that as far as their, I want to say talent, I won't go there, but their size. You said how Warner Networks is able to pump out DLC, and that Ninja Turtle looks amazing.
It does.
And they just don't have. I don't think they have the resources and the manpower to keep up with the Western part of developers. But I will say though that Final Fantasy DLC looks amazing. Looks dope. I like it.
Looks dope. Yeah, and Geese, and we're still waiting for Geese to come from King of the Fighters. So for the Tekken, so they're really slipping. I mean, hell. And also, what's called looks good as well. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite looks.
Yeah, shout out to I got that. One of my Patreon supporter, big brother, Bryant, VIP patron. He bought me that. He gifted it to me. I didn't even know the Xbox can do gifts. So, man, check your email. I checked my email. I had Marvel vs. Infinite sitting there waiting on me.
And Madden, I took a little sample of NBA 2K18, but Madden.
Didn't I tell you? Hey, say man, I said, I tell you, Jax was full of shit.
It looks amazing.
Jax was full of shit. I told you, man, they look so much bigger. Like they fit the figures, like they fit the whole screen.
You was right.
Amazing. It's amazing.
So no,
I was super impressed with the way Madden looks. That's probably one of the better looking games. But I mean, they all look just amazing. You know, like I'm super impressed by pretty much everything. It's just a good time to be an Xbox fan right now.
I can't go back. I just can't, guys. I can't. No. I can't go back. I can understand. I can be in that PC realm for a moment and sit there and look down upon the peasants and say, look, man, if you don't have an Xbox, don't be cheap. Don't be cheap. Don't do the Puerto Rock route and say, I'm just going to get this money. No, just get the hell out. No.
I will say this, right? All jokes aside,
just save your chips up, or just wait till next year to get an X when it drops down in price. Because
I will say this, though, right? Check it out. For those
amazing,
that don't have an Xbox, honestly, for those that don't have one, and they're mostly into hardcore. Well, I don't even see any casuals. I think a lot of casuals. We're going to talk about
boy. Z.
But it makes no. I won't say it makes no sense, but I don't know what your budget to buy S, and the X is here, and you know what I mean. And like I wouldn't even like Jesus. Like there's a huge. Some people see the problem. I think some people are thinking it's not that big of a deal, but and forget all the fanboy stuff put aside. Like it's a huge difference. Yes.
To make this transition for you into these sales,
yeah.
Aaron Greenberg posted on Twitter, huge thanks to everyone for their support of the Xbox One X. Great initial results, not just in UK, being seen similar results across Europe, North America numbers much bigger. Amazing first week.
Yeah, for sure. They already listen, right? You know what's crazy, right? And they're going to downplay this. I seen Jabari out there doing all that non-profit work for Sony 7 o'clock in the morning, right? They said, well, the reason why the Pro didn't sell as well because it was sold out. Listen, I've never walked into the store and not seen a Pro right there. Like I'm listening. No jokes aside. Like stop
the pallets. Hey, crap, the pallet.
Stop it. You gotta give credit where credit is due. Hey. A lot of people said it wouldn't sell because it's $500. You know what I mean? Word of mouth is, you know what I mean, what's doing
the thing is everybody's looking at it old school wise, right? Mm-hmm. You know, they think of, oh, well, back in the day, people didn't really like to do, you know, they weren't really in the know about stuff. They didn't know anything. Well, I think phones has helped Xbox and the consoles in general. Like people line up for these things, right? They know better. Like people want the newest and best phone. People are buying this iPhone X. You know what I mean? And it's $1,000. People are going to buy a $500 console because it's the best.
Worth it, no crap. Jesus.
That's why. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's worth. Like I said before, we had even we went back and forth about the price, and I was telling you guys, as long as the average Joe Smoke can walk into a store and they can tell the difference without Digital Foundry, with the side by side, what has more blades of grass, they won't have an issue asking for $5 for this console because I have a Pro, and it's not no fanboy stuff here. And again, I talked about this with Rich. Shout out, we got about 330 people here watching this live. Listen, I get up to 150 likes. I got 3 game codes. I drop a code in there right now. Let's get up to 150 likes. I drop a game code right now. Get the code together. Yeah, so you know that they won't have an issue asking for $500 because I have the Pro, and that, like, you know, me and Rich talked about. We talking about 4.2 teraflops, right, in a box, and you know. And again, that is a lot of us, but you know, they went cheap on the RAM, right? So they either give you a higher resolution or they can maybe give you better textures, right? But they put, you know, the whole resolution. 1080p makes you a better gamer, right? But now you have the X, was giving you a higher resolution and better graphics. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna ask the question again: does this make the Pro irrelevant? You know what I mean? What does Sony do with the Pro now?
Well, look, this is the thing. I always said, if you can swing both, get both.
For sure.
If you're just like if you could do that, but for me personally, I don't see myself going back to the PS4 anytime soon. You know what I mean? It's just it's all been about the X and what it's doing. It's just like who could go back to that stuff? You know what I mean? Just honestly, who the hell said
that stuff?
It's true, man. The Xbox has turned me into a snob, man. I always have I drink with my pinky out, and I'm just kind of my nose real high. You know what I mean? It's just,
he's like, I'm just sipping his tea.
Yes, I'm sipping my XT, and that's what I'm doing, man. It's just I have not touched any other thing. My Switch, and I got Mario.
Oh Jesus!
And that's a great game. I haven't even went back to that. I haven't touched anything. I've got VR stuff, and everybody knows I love VR, but I haven't even touched my PS4.
Yo, no lie. If you go to all like the major popular forums, even Reddit, Man, everybody is glossing over this system. Like even Sony guys who have purchased it, you know, looking at that Pro like, what happened? What happened?
Hey, yo, I'm reading here. It says here, the first week sales are also well ahead of the PS4 Pro, which did a little over 50,000 back in November 2016, around the same time. It took the PS4 Pro 1 month in the UK to get up to 80,000 in sales. And Jabari said because they were sold out, they was having problems. Man, knock it off! Get out of here! Stop it, chick.
No, that's ridiculous. No, it's amazing to see a console pushing this much power. Like I'm in awe. It's ridiculous, and it gives you a feeling of just like, damn, you know, am I really playing on the Xbox? The only thing Xbox now has to do until the next iteration, which should be about 3 to 4 years from now, in my opinion, should just work on the exclusives. Because right now, only thing the PlayStation can hold their hat on is their exclusives.
Yeah, they got that right now, for sure.
And they do have that right now. But if the Xbox get those exclusives in gear, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, because I don't see the PlayStation 5 coming out anytime soon. They can talk about it, but I just don't see it coming. The PlayStation 4 is doing too well right now. Sony is making money hand over fist. So so why would they want to hurry up and bring a console to where they are losing money just to, to keep the power argument? They got to keep recouping money in order to get that console to be powerful. And if they did bring the PlayStation 5, let's say in 2 years, it's still not going. It's just still going to be a little bit more powerful. It's not going to be a lot more powerful. And if it's a lot more powerful, you're going to be paying $600. You're not going to be paying $500. So it's a whole bunch of situations that comes into play. And the Xbox with this mid-gen system is in the forefront and doing a fantastic job. It was great strategy by them.
That's a good point, K Mega, because the cost to performance that Microsoft got out of this box is amazing. And a lot of people thought it couldn't be done. Like they really, really, really did their homework on this box to get it at this price and get that much performance. We haven't even begun to see the type of performances developers is going to be squeezing out of this box down the line. But they did a great job with that.
And it's crazy how much custom stuff is in the Xbox One X. I really hope for all the people who are talking about the PS5 that the PS5 is not just off the shelf parts. It's going to be stronger than the Xbox One because it's going to come out in 2 to 3 years. So that's obvious. But like the way PlayStation has been designing the PS4 and the PS4 Pro is they take off the shelf parts and just configure them in a console in a smaller space that is, singular. But all this stuff you can buy individually and try to, amalgamate yourself a PS4 just because it's nothing like extra custom about it. And that's even the Xbox One X, for it to have so many different, the DX12,
everything is
the
custom.
vapor chamber, like for it to have so many custom parts and to come at $500 is crazy.
Yeah, everything is. They had to go custom. They couldn't pull off the shelf parts and get it at that price. They had to go custom.
This is what I think is going to happen going forward. I think the PS4 Pro it's pretty much dead. In all honesty, only way I could recommend a PS4 Pro is if you're into VR and you want a higher fidelity graphics for your VR set, then fine, go ahead and get a PS4 Pro. Otherwise, like we know already, there's not a huge difference over the regular PS4. And with the PS4 still getting HDR, still getting the same exclusives, and being a lot cheaper, personally, I think a lot of people are going to either stick with the current PS4 they have and get an Xbox One X. But I think that PS4 Pro is pretty much dead, because what's the purpose of it? For $100 more, you're going to get a system that is twice as powerful.
And it's like $600 worth of more, it's like got $600 more performance in it. I've been saying that. People are like, but it's $100 more expensive. How do you justify it? I'm like, play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you'll see.
Yeah.
You can't just like say, oh, well, I watched the video and it wasn't, like you were saying earlier. I watched the video and, it didn't look that good. It's something you really have to experience. It's
Right.
amazing.
It's crazy. It's crazy how many people will be like, they'll be like, well, it's $100 more. Nobody's buying that. What's your justification? Then you start naming stuff, the Blu-ray player, then the 4K recording. Like you start naming stuff. They're like, well, I'm not going to use that. Nobody uses that. Okay, why are we even having this conversation? Like,
well, that was like I used to argue, like the PC dudes used to argue with me, and I'd say, hey, if you can build me something that's as powerful and consistent as the Xbox One X in that small of a container with the operating system, keyboard and mouse or controller, and a 4K Blu-ray player, and I'll switch to PC gaming, and I haven't had a motherfucker do that for me yet. They always try to go, well, why do you even need this? Or just go with the bootleg OS, or you know what I mean? It's like, why would you need a 4K Blu-ray player? I'm like, dude, my Xbox One X fixed nice and sleek in my entertainment center. I have a 4K HDR TV. I have 4K HDR Blu-rays. You know, like that's my entertainment. I'm not putting a big old PC tower in there. That's just not going to be something that I'm doing, you know. And they just like they get all huffy about it, you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. It's funny though. I'm enjoying this week. I've enjoyed this week more than I have the past 4 years. And I'm going to enjoy it even more when the NPD for November comes out and PS4 is like third place.
Hey, a lot of the people are reinvigorated with the system, and especially going back and looking at past games and seeing the updates that those been getting.
This is the thing, man. I see them teasing us and say, "Oh, you guys are just playing old games." And to be honest, no jokes aside,
I'm not playing old games. I'm playing
whatever came out. The games that came out last year, you know, the games there are. You know,
I tried those out to see the graphics, but the games I'm actually playing,
as far as you know, the games that have been added to the list have been Xbox.
Oh well, I mean, hey, they're trying. Eventually, hopefully, they support as many as possible. We're taking all of our, and somebody in the chat mentioned this, right?
Yeah.
Whenever the next Xbox comes out, all the games that are dynamic 4K right now will be native 4K, because dynamic means that it's going to scale up depending on the point and the power. Like if you port, like let's be honest, Destiny 2 on the Xbox One X is going to be the port of the PlayStation 4 version, or the Pro version, right? Which is using dynamic scaling. The problem is dynamic scaling on the Xbox One X is going to be much higher. That's why the Xbox One X, like Call of Duty, it's basically the Pro port. But since they're using the dynamic scaling, it holds 4K, and the PS4 version never hits 4K.
But a lot of people got to understand that these games, even the new games that's coming out, they wasn't built specifically for the X. Even the engines that they're using. So of course, a lot of them are going to be dynamic. Are you going to use dynamic resolution and things like that? When you get these developers that get their engines up to par and running like they want to on the X, I think we're going to see less of dynamic resolution scaling games and more native 4K. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah. Did you talk games that are built with the DirectX 12?
Yeah, just period. A lot of these games, developers are just not getting a dev kit. So they, the stuff they're doing now ain't none compared to what they're going to be doing in the future. I never expected the enhancements to be that much, because you only have 5 months with the dev kits. What can you do with that?
Well, I mean, Assassin's Creed, remember, it was less than that. They just got that around August, September?
Right. So in the future games, I expect games coming down the line, the year two, whatever that's coming towards us, I expect those games to perform way better than the enhancement titles that we're seeing now.
Well, just think about this. Regardless of the multiplats, they're gonna look fine, and especially like a game like Battlefield that uses that Frostbite engine with DirectX 12. That's going to be insane. It's going to be bananas. But the Xbox exclusives for the new for like the new Halo that comes out, and for just all the other exclusives that they got coming out this year alone, like this was the perfect. Like I wasn't mad about the delay in the first place of Crackdown. But now this makes perfect sense. You definitely have the machine to push the craziness that you want to go for, and for their multiplayer, and that's going to be a huge selling point for everybody.
You know what blew my mind? And I know Z gonna give me flack on this. At the launch, when they showed Sea of Thieves for the first time running on the X, my God! Wow. And that just goes to show that everything we've been seeing up to this point of Sea of Thieves have been running on the S, and it looks amazing. But when they showed the X, I was like, whoa.
And you got to think, a lot of these games that are coming out now, like they're all still DX11 based. There's like, 4 or 5 that are DX12 based. So as everything, right, as everything is starting to switch over to DX12 because Microsoft stopped supporting DX11, you're going to start seeing all of those benefits of everything they engineered into the system come to fruition. And next year is going to be crazy. Like not just the games that they put out, but the multiplats that have been in gestation and are built on the APIs that, you know, for this machine and scale down. It's going to be ridiculous next year how these games look, because right now you're looking at them like, yo, this looks crazy. But next year, when they have time to tune everything, they're not rushing, they're not getting a dev kit 5 months in advance. They have a year to tweak and turn every knob they want to make it as best as they possibly can.
Because you're rushing. Great. You're literally rushing. If you just got them dev kits at E3 and Microsoft wants you to meet launch day on November 7th, you're pretty much not going to really have the time to sit there and check every nuance that you want. Right. So you're going to bump the resolution here up if you can, add a few 4K assets if you can. But other than that, you don't really have the time to do what you want. You know what I'm saying? So, wait.
Check it out, right? First of all, we got 340 people watching live. I got 150 likes. I'm going to drop. I got some game codes, right? Let's get up to 200. I got some game codes. Triple A joins. I'm going to drop them. Drop them in the chat. But listen.
What about State of Decay?
Here's the thing. I was going with this, right? Oh, yeah. When it comes to, and I must be honest with you, when it comes to well, Microsoft, when I say they have to set the standard, right? As far as their exclusives, right? There should be no reason why that their own exclusive doesn't take full advantage of the console's hardware. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. Like you had Halo Wars 2 launch without any HDR and stuff like that. You can't be no more cutting corners. You know what I mean? They have to set the standards themselves. If you want, even like I said the same thing about the cloud. You know what I mean? Crackdown, whenever that finally comes out, that has to be the standard. Like I said, going forward after Crackdown, any exclusive for Microsoft, they want this cloud thing to be a thing, or even if it's still a thing, should take full advantage of the cloud. You know what I mean? In some shape, form, or fashion. You know what I mean? But you know, State of Decay 2, that comes out in spring. You know what I mean? That should be, you know, I don't know how long they, you know, I'm quite sure they've had the tech, you know, before other studios should take advantage of, you know, the Xbox One X. Should be fully DirectX 12. No more cutting corners, you know what I mean? They have to go out there and set the standards when it comes to that, you know what I mean? But let me see what we got here. Hold on 1 second. I got you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to drop a code.
Oh, Killer Instinct look really good as well.
Yeah, I wish they do update the textures on that.
Yeah,
but
me too.
It still looks amazing. But yeah, I wish that they would up the textures.
You see, you guys Injustice?
That was the other game. Z Injustice 2 is on another level.
Yeah.
Best fighting game this gen by far. Yeah. Even over my Mighty Tekken. That is an insane, beautiful fighting game, man. Like if you are not into fighters and you want to try one and you're like, hey Mega, which one would you prefer? Man, get Injustice 2. It's great story.
That game's visually already looks
already, and now like it's stupid, man. Like I'm still in disbelief. It's just like my Rams being 7-2 right now. It just disbelief in this, in the Xbox X. It's just
like, what is this?
I'm like, what?
Listen, I told you guys. I take you back to that interview. Was that Teddy or Sid, whatever you call it? When the woman stood up and she asked Bill Gates or something, but she had stocks in Microsoft or whatever the case may be. And it was when Microsoft just acquired Nokia, I believe. And it was rumors of Microsoft spinning off the Xbox division. And she said something about, you know, the PlayStation being more powerful, whatever the case may be. And Bill said on the stage, they're like, we're Microsoft. We don't have to be second fiddle to no one. Not just, and I take you back to a conversation that I was privy to about 2 years ago. And I said, when it comes to hardware, again, Microsoft will never be outgunned again. And this is coming from this is coming from a third-party developer that doesn't have, doesn't have a dog in the fight. And that, they make their money off Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what he heard, you know what I mean? But he said, this is before I heard anything about the X or all the other stuff, you know what I mean? And come to find out, like I said, Donnie D greenlighted the X in 2012. You know what I mean? To start on that thing there.
I just want you to go one show without mentioning Donnie.
That's okay.
One show. One show it is. I don't care what show it is.
Donnie D gave the green light, but Phil Spencer was the one that said, "Look,
it's in your residual text.
It's got to be 4K and it's got to be HDR. There can't be no compromises." It was Phil Spencer that did that. Albert Pinello.
No, well, it was Albert Pinello idea. Phil Spencer just came to Al Pinella and said, "Hey, y'all have a great idea right here, but y'all need a catch. Y'all need something to sell it." And that's when he said they was looking at the TV market and they was looking at 4K, and Phil kind of put that 4K in their ear.
And kind of said, "Look, if you're going to do it, this is what you're going to do."
I just want Next Gen to send me some of that residual check he getting from Donnie D. I want some of it. Give brother peace.
Boy got a Donnie D. Boy got a Donnie D tattoo.
Is a realist. Listen,
He got a Donnie D.
I'm gonna call it like it is.
He got a Donnie D tattoo on the back of his neck under the
I said maybe it's not the content about care, maybe it was the color of my skin, right? Because people think that the Xbox One X is the answer to the whole resolution board thing, and it's actually not. The thing got greenlighted in 2012.
Yeah, they didn't get greenlighted in the States.
Lord, we ain't about to do this. We ain't about to do this.
You know what? I understand that because I was somewhere.
The only thing that they had concrete at that time was that it was going to be backwards compatible, that they wanted to be able to play the old game. That's the only thing that they had. Then he said that they went to Phil, and Phil said,
"How are you gonna go to Phil?
What else are you gonna do? What else is this?
FCGK. Hold on, let me put this
then they started looking at the television market. 4K.
You AD, you didn't took an L on Beast
Facts,
Fire.
D. Facts, D.
You took an L on Beast Fire. You took an L on multiplayer. I'm not trying to give you an L on BGST. But it's drop a code in the chat.
If we want to thank somebody, you can thank Apple because it all started from there.
FCGK.
Well,
the idea came from the cell phone market, actually.
This is it right here, though. It's good to see Xbox is going back to their roots. This is a testament to the OG Xbox, where like there's no compromise. There's we have the capital and we have the technology to make the most powerful console. They did it once before with the OG Xbox. They did it again with the X, and it seemed for the foreseeable future, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter whatever Sony or Nintendo or whoever else comes, they're going to trump it because right when the PlayStation 5 comes, what's coming around the corner maybe a year after that, it's going to be the Xbox 2 or whatever the hell the crazy name is going to be then.
Xbox 2 is going to be a minute. They already working on it now.
Yeah, they're already working on it. Absolutely right. So there's no games being played now. Like they had to get their footing. I've been saying that for ever since before I even got on BGST. Xbox has been trying to get their footing because of what happened in 2013, and now it's here. They are back up on their feet. And they're saying they're doubling down on these exclusive. Watch out, Jack. They ain't playing no damn games now. It's about to be. Be on this train. Y'all better hop on.
The hardware's out the way now. They don't have to worry about that. They can solely focus on software now, which is what they want to do. Focus on software and services. So if they're gonna start either building their own studios and purchase them, more power to them. You know. Let's get it. I'm excited for the foreseeable future.
I just hope that him saying it, a month ago wasn't when they started to do it. I'm gonna say it wasn't. I'm gonna give the man the benefit of the doubt and say it wasn't.
No, I think he started way before.
Even if it does, we'll still see the fruits of that before we see Death Stranding. I'm just saying.
Check it out, right? You know what's scary? Well, I post you told me about the fight that Shannon Loftus had with Shaggy from IGN, right? Lucky Tale. Like, what the hell happened? I missed. Shout out to my man dropping $10 in the super chat. Kagustu, he says, "Do you think the Xbox brand will be screwed if Crackdown 3 doesn't meet expectations after the delay? There'll be a lot of pressure on Microsoft regarding exclusives in 2018." Good point.
Nah, I don't think anybody's expecting much from that game.
From Crackdown?
So yeah, I actually like from all the delays and stuff. I think everybody just expects it to be shit. So if it gets good reviews and works well, then I think that's a bonus. But I actually think a lot of people, due to a lot of the media and negativity, are probably going to avoid the game.
Well, here's the thing: what media is kind of flipping. I see now that they're a little more softer on Microsoft, even with the digital foundries, because of the console. I mean, there's no denying. Like, you know, we have a few, you know, ad sets out there, but we all heard about the cloud, right? And this is their first, you know, in-house game really that's fully
well, they jumped on the cloud stuff a little early. That was the problem, because they were getting so much hate already for the power thing, so they were trying, you know, it was like very much desperation at that point. So
we also had the game from Obsidian that was supposed to come out, that was supposed to take advantage of the cloud, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like I said,
that's the big part right there, the cloud. People more so than Crackdown itself, because at the generation they touted all this cloud power. So people are, if they deliver in that part though, if they deliver, then it could reawaken people attention towards the game.
I'm looking forward to the multiplayer to check that out, because
that's what I'm saying. The multiplayer,
it could be revolutionary, and if it is, then look out. I mean, I think that you not only do you have
to set the standard, they have to you know, set the standard.
You have the best console. Like the X should be able to handle most of that shit by itself anyway, too. You know what I mean? So it should look better. And then you have the multiplayer using the cloud with that full destruction. If they can pull off that full destruction,
exactly,
man, that is going to be something that people. There's going to be a lot of egg on faces. You know.
All right, hold on.
See a comeback of the century,
ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to drop a code right now in the chat. We got 10 people. Ready? Get ready. He say so. It's Denny. Get it. Get it. You know what I mean? All right, let's get up to 250 likes. I got one more code. I got two more codes. I don't
see not a man in the code. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I got Mafia 3 back here. I got a bunch of shit back here. Man, we're gonna have some fun tonight, man. Shout out to my sponsors, my Secret Santas. Shout out to you guys, man. You know what I mean? That's just your taste buds. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm sorry. What you were saying? Well, even the guy, how do you pronounce your name? He always supports the show. Kotaku. He said bullshit. I'm expecting a lot from that game. You know what I mean? Well, you gotta realize this too. You know, Microsoft, which I think was kind of huge for them. Sorry, is that was their exclusive. You know, they was, you know, for the X coming out this when the console launched. You know what I mean? To have a, you know, I guess their signature exclusive that they really don't have. But they just fall. And the multipliers that are coming out are amazing. You have the Star Wars, you got the Destiny, you got the Call of Duty. I mean, everything. That's about it. It's everything that's came out, right? You got the Wolfenstein 2. They said that's the best looking game when it got there. I haven't played.
That's
yet,
4K 60.
Yeah, you know what I mean. God, Jesus crap. Say it again. Not
4K 60.
Remember, just 3 years ago, we were talking about 1080p, right?
Yeah.
And we said, well, maybe next generation. I remember a couple big YouTubers was saying that, well, maybe the following generation, you guys will get everything 1080p 60. It's 3 years later, you know what I mean? Well, 4 years later.
Yeah.
We're talking 4K 60. So what do you think is going to be the standard for the following?
I don't think, I know a lot of people are like 8K. I don't think 8K is a thing. Like, I think it's like, I think that's more of like a professional thing, but I still think, I think 4K is the next thing as well.
Yeah, I think 2 more generations of 4K until 8K becomes affordable to the
well,
masses.
the Japanese market, the television market, they're already working on 8K.
That's been
television. Well, I know, but I'm saying they already got 8K televisions, but they're working for their network to start showing 8K. Off of their network, so they can start pushing out those 8K televisions.
They're working on 1080p and 1080i here in the States. It's crazy, right?
I'm saying that's in Japan.
The richest country, what's it called? Shit in America, the most powerful country. Our internet stuff is so far. I was looking at Korea. Korea's mandatory minimum was like 500 up. No, it was like something like 2 gigs up, 2 gigs down. I was like, God damn, for $50 a month. I said, Jesus.
Yeah, we live in. They slow feed us. I don't want to get too deep in it. By the time something gets our hands, it's already about 20, 30 years old, bro.
Yeah, but look, check it out, right? I said this story, right? This year I was going to story to tell, right? I said that I was in 2001, maybe 2002. I was looking at the articles or something. It was Samsung. They had an event in North Korea, and they was calling it Ultra HD, right? And remind me, back in late, maybe been 2003. All right, if not, don't quote me on it. But somewhere around there. It was way before the Xbox 360 came out, and they was showing something called Ultra HD. And remember, we were still used to looking at things in 480i, 480p, and they had a showing, like, for the the journalists and stuff. It gave people actual motion sickness. You know what I mean? From going from 480i straight to 4K, like, you know what I mean? And I guess maybe it might have been 4K, it might have been 8K, but they even talked about 8K, patenting 8K back in 20. I think that was 8K, what that was 4K, what that was 2K. I didn't know what the hell none of that stuff was, but it said it gave people actually motion sickness. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's not new. Like some of this, like this tech, like by the time we get our hands on, look, the military had the internet back in the 50s. You know what I mean? We didn't get that till like when, like the 90s or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, for real though. You know what I mean? But I guess, like I said, we can, before we get the hell up out of here. Like one thing I want to ask you, going forward, right? The X is here, right? And you know, I don't know any of us here. Maybe I know Mr. 100 likes Shannon Loftus, maybe personally, but I don't know.
I like Shannon as well too.
Oh, sucks.
That just kick rocks.
Anyway.
Going forward, like, you know, what, you know, we talked about this before, and like I said, I want to see what
my Shannon alone.
Yeah, no, I know, right? Calvin. Like going forward, like the direction. I always brings forward. Like I think Microsoft kind of lost what their core, what we need and what we like. You know what I mean? Do you feel comfortable with her, maybe even leading the ship, or you know, or getting us those games again that would make what satisfies your core, what made us Xbox fans? So just before you answer that question, just look back from what we used to have. You know what I mean? From the OG to the 360 and to now. Gears. I'm sorry. The OG, you had an Halo 1. The 360, you had Gears. We have yet to get that signature, you know, the definitive exclusive for the Xbox One. You know what I mean? This generation here. You know what I mean? Do you have confidence in her to go out and secure that title? Does she know that title? And then I believe she came over from the Connect. I think Crap told me, like, you know,
yeah, she was like they like doing the Connect Adventure stuff on E3 years ago.
Like, do you have faith in that Crap?
No, not really. You know what I mean? It was cool that she stuck up for Super Lucky's Tale, but I just a lot of the things that are going on with the she's in charge of the games. You know, we never had this many delays before. Will Halo even come out next year? Who the hell knows? Like, if that's the case, then yeah, there is something that should be done. You know, I would be more comfortable with pretty much anybody else in there. You need I think you need somebody maybe younger, hipper. You know what I mean? Like, that gets it, the whole Xbox thing. If you're like you're trying to sell the X to like this certain kind of gamer, and then you're up there like, here's Disneyland Adventures and this, like,
thank you,
in 4K. Like, who cares? You know.
I'm with you on that Crap. Like, you know, D, whoever can make a D when you guys want to answer that.
No, I just look at it like this. I mean, it's just like when everybody was jumping down Phil's throat, and they were saying that, you know, Phil, there was people that were saying they wanted Phil fired, and then they wanted Aaron Greenberg to be fired, and now they're going after Shannon Loftus. And now, look,
they want Aaron fired too. These ain't what Aaron.
Yeah, there are people that they wanted everybody fired. They wanted us fired, and we ain't even part of it. They do. But anyway, the thing of it is that you have to give this process takes time. And I don't see anything wrong with what Sharon Loftus is doing by adding a different type of demographic to the gaming portfolio. I have no problem with more kid-friendly games, because kids do, you know, sell games. They have their parents buy their games. And Super Lucky's Tale, those games. I mean, look at Cuphead. Cuphead was under her watch, was it not? So I think that there's room. There's of course room to grow, but of course she needs the time to see what she can do. And having a couple of these family-oriented games isn't going to hurt, as long as the gaming portfolio is rich. That's all that matters, as long as they have their Rises or Quantum Breaks, because she also did bring up about Quantum Break, and she hinted to the fact that there could be a Quantum Break too, and had me very excited about that. All right. So the adult games are going to come, but
somebody
we also
somebody cut this goddamn nigga mic off right now.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. I've been saying, man, be patient. Be patient.
Ain't nobody keep out there buying no 500 goddamn consoles, goddamn Lucky Tales, and goddamn they ain't the answers way. What I mean by core, like, I'm gonna be honest, all jokes aside, I understand. I'd rather have it and not need it, and need it and not have it. Cool.
Yeah, he was going there, wasn't he?
Yeah. But there's nothing else. Like, you know, this year we got in Halo Wars 2. It's probably this generation. This has been our least. You know, I'm being honest, our lowest year when it comes to games. You know what I mean? Whether you like Xbox games or not, whether you like the Sunsets, whether you like the Rise, whether you like the Quantum Break, all that is subjective, right? But to only get Halo Wars 2. Quantum Break, not Quantum Break, Phantom Dust, original assets, Voodoo Vince, and then look, nah, that ain't the answer. Then you talking about some Zoo Tycoon? That's all that we got this year, and another niche title of a simulation racer? Nah, you know what I mean? That's not your core. I don't know what demographic they shoot at the Switch audience. That's not us. We're the Otakis. We're the Ninja Gaiden Blacks. You know what I mean? You know the Fables, the Halos, the Gears. That's what your core.
We had 2 delays though, Z. That hurt bad. So yeah.
I think she needs to go. Honestly, I don't know. Thank you, Dave. That's her job, is to deliver games. And can we honestly say she's delivered the games that we want? That's showcasing our platform. It's not. But I'll say this: a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, I was a little bit more down on this. But the fact that Phil's come out and say, "Listen, we know this is an area we're going to address it. You know what? We're gonna acquire new studios if we can't, and if not, we'll just outright buy new studios. We got this under control." And you know what? Phil hurt us with the original Xbox One S and how it was the original Xbox One, how it was incompetent. And you know what? He gave us the Xbox One X. So you know what?
Hey, wait. Listen. But you know what scares me though? When she says that Recoil is on the level of Halo and Gears, that scares me. That's some scary shit right there.
If they put a big budget behind that game, that would be fantastic.
Now, here's the thing, though. We can't say stuff like Recore, has no place in the Halo and Gears war, because all that does is make them stop making Recore. They can't build franchises if they don't.
Oh, they're definitely making a Recore too.
Listen, this is what I said. Before you start throwing words in my mouth, that's not on the same level as a Gears. Those are billion-dollar franchises, and you're not building no Recore. That's not your audience. I'm not knocking those that like platformers, but you have the racer. You're the shooter box. We are the Dude Bros, Mountain Dew, and Doritos. That is us all day long. Wear it. Sony guys are the Lonely Station. They did single player driven. That's them. You know what I mean? You have Sony has their core. We have our core. Nintendo has their core, and I will give Sony and Nintendo credit for that. Whether you like those games or not, that's all subjective. They cater to their core. That fucking, Zoo Tycoon and Rush, that's not us.
I have to say this.
Who asked for Zoo Tycoon? Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Hey, Zoo Tycoon is the best one out of that bunch that they showed.
You know what?
It shouldn't have been a bunch.
It's crazy.
What's the numbers on it?
You know what? It's crazy though. Out of all the reviewers I've seen who opened their Xbox One X, when they looked at all the 21 games, a lot of them looked at Zoo Tycoon and Disneyland. Was like, "Oh, I gotta play this." I'm like, out of all the 21 games, they looked at those 2 games. It was like, "Oh, I really gotta play this." But
to be fair, that Connect Disney Rush is pretty good.
My whole take on this is I have to wait and see as far as what she's going to do, because I don't know how much of what we already received was on her or if it came from Donnie D era, because Donnie D era wasn't too long ago, especially with that $1 billion in games. I think Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive, I think all those games come from him. So I think from this point on with Phil and Shannon, whatever we got that's coming down the line, the future iterations of things, then I will judge them by that and by that alone. But I can't judge them off the things that's out, because I think that stuff was green lighted years ago.
Yeah. Well, again, like massive. I'm sorry.
I just think that we never saw these kind of delays and stuff until she was in charge of the because I honestly.
When did she become in charge? When Phil stepped up, she became in charge.
Yeah, she took Phil's spot.
About 3 weeks after he was
take a hike. Spoon Man says take a hike, Shannon.
So we got to see what type of studio she brings to the table.
Even their PC game, Age of Empires Remastered, got delayed. I mean, come on, you can't make this shit up. You can't. Like, everything's been the only reason we're getting a decent lineup next year is the games that were delayed from this year.
You know what?
Yeah,
that's
exactly correct. Good point, Crab. Good point.
It's a couple of them games that a couple of E3.
Come on now.
I saw a couple of them games that a couple of
E3 was supposed to come out last year. Remember, it was supposed to come out last holiday.
The K had been at a couple E3.
Yeah, they showed that shit off in 2014, 15, if I'm not mistaken. Good point, Crab. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, crap, we don't agree. We don't agree with it. Yeah. She got to go. That hole has got to go.
Hey, and it's not like all people are telling people to be fired, dude. If you don't do your job, that's what happens in life. Welcome to the world.
Well, like I said, let's see her body of work because
her body. You said you see her body.
You better leave my Shannon alone.
She's
love me some shit.
You got some nice.
You need somebody in there to get in there that can wine and dine these people. Get some shit going. You know what I mean? Be in touch.
I still have faith in this team, and
what gives you faith?
We need more. Look, they need. It's like what Post Up said. It's like I'm saying. They need more time. I've been saying this. And look, when I said people be patient and look at what the things that we're starting to get now. Look at this X that we got. Come on, man. The games are coming.
Right, listen, I was
looking at her legs.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, right? We got to be realistic. This is Microsoft. It's not their first dance at the park, right? The third generation. They should know what to do by now. What needs to be done, what they have. And my thing is tonight, and this goes back. Remember, shout out to my man Blazing Phoenix. # buy Capcom. When you have studios
buy Obsidian first, then try to go after
whatever
Capcom.
The case may be. I'm just saying when they're saying that they have IPs that they're willing to sell, and then you know that your portfolio really just known from being, you cancel Fable. You know this from being the Gears and the Forza and the Halo box. Why not go in there? That Resident Evil, people loved it, right? That can have been your exclusive. Like, come on, that's why I'm asking the question. Are they really, want to win? I think Microsoft just wants to make as much money as possible. They don't care about.
I don't know how well it'll work out for them buying a game that was already established, right? Like
if it would work out though, it's a cult following.
A good company for them to buy would be Bluehole, right? Buy Bluehole, that's a you know what I mean. Get PUBG.
I hope that works on
they got enough money for them.
Bluehole got a dope ass MMO coming out.
They got enough money
great.
For Bluehole, right? Bluehole is
they got about
like
$4 billion. They were about $5 billion right now.
They're gonna be paying more than they pay for Minecraft.
Yeah, they publish.
Well, I mean, look, it's what $20 million, and it isn't even released yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And somebody made a good point about Capcom. Sorry, crap. I was just going to say somebody made a great point about Capcom being dead. If Xbox could acquire Capcom or even some of those IPs, they would have to overhaul those developers, man, because some of them are just they're not cutting it, Jack. They just
they can buy the IPs. They can't buy Capcom as a whole.
Don't buy developers that are on the way down and stuff, right? Yeah. Buy Playground Games, right? Their first game was Forza Horizon. Then, you know what I mean? Every game they've done has been better than the previous, and now they're also making, in addition to Forza Horizon 4, an RPG. Boom. What does Microsoft need more than anything in their portfolio? An exclusive RPG. That makes the most sense to me. Buy them. Buy
Obsidian. Because if you want RPGs, Obsidian is the place to be. It's the place.
Right. They need to buy IPs. Like don't try to buy Capcom.
They could have owned the Hitman series. I know that goes against what I just said, but that would have been a good thing for their Game Pass, right? If they're trying to treat that like Netflix, right? Well, Netflix has its own exclusives. So Microsoft, get some fucking exclusives in your Game Pass. That's like episodic, right? So do that. You know what I mean? That would have been the perfect kind of setup. By Obsidian, they do RPGs as well. There's lots of different options for them, and then open up a studio in like Japan and another one in England somewhere or something. They can maybe do some Fable games or whatever. Although I do think that they're working on Fable games as well. But you know what I mean? Like, who knows? Like Phil did say when they announced that they're doing studios, they'll have something, they'll already be working on something. So maybe they already did have something going on. You know what I mean? I hope so.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know where is Obsidian? Is it in Europe? Is it, I know it's Western, but where is it? Where is that team located at, or that company? Is it United States? Where is that at?
Which one?
Obsidian, the whole
Obsidian. I don't really know.
Okay, so I mean, because what you said is absolutely right. If you can acquire anything from Capcom, the first thing that you would want to do is to reach out to the Japanese market.
California.
Oh, California. Okay, well that's still dope. I mean, I would say go after Obsidian first, and then if you can do something with Capcom, yeah, try to have that Japanese market somewhere, you know,
you could open up your own
Japan,
studio, like
Xbox
Microsoft
Japan.
Studio
You know what I'm
Japan.
saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yeah. And so that would be smart. And then of course, try to do something. And Fable would definitely be, you know, the place to where
I already think they're working on a
it,
Fable, but yeah, get someone, you know, get something going to where, you know, you can create a steady Fable, because we've really missed that this generation. If that's like the one thing that I could say, that, yeah, man, we really missed that Fable. You know, that I do anyway, man. Like Fable 2 was amazing. Fable 3 was okay, but like really not having a Fable this generation, that stings.
It does. And look, I'm not trying to, you know, because it was sounding like it was going Debbie Downer again, you know, after we're having a really good show, talking positive like we supposed to. You know what I'm saying? I don't want this to go left, because, you know, Xbox, because now it sounds like we're saying Xbox has no games. They have games. It's just their lineup has been, they
need an RPG
this year. Yeah,
I mean, they got a lot of shit on lock, right? Like I'm really excited. Like, here's the funny thing to me, right? Like, and I can always tell the frauds and the fake, the neutrals that aren't really neutral when they say shit like this. So they see the Sony event and they're like, man, Sony, you really knocked it out of the park with those single player games. Microsoft, your turn. Or, you know, they say some stupid shit like that, right? But then those same people will never say, man, Microsoft, you really knocked it out of the park with those multiplayer games. Sony, your turn. Like, that's how you could tell when some motherfucker really just is a Sony dude. You know what I mean? Like, if you're saying it for one, why not say it for the other? Because I don't see Sony coming out with shit. Like, for me, one of my most anticipated games is Sea of Thieves. Fucking phenomenal games. I have 70, 80 hours in the alpha, right? I can't wait to play that on the X in 4K and HDR. That is going to be an amazing experience, right? Great multiplayer game. Where's Sony's great multiplayer game, right? How come nobody gives them shit for that? Like, that's my point. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's...
talk about it, crap.
Yeah, exactly, man. I could talk about this shit all day, but Monday Night Raw is on. Come on.
Rachel Maddow's about to
come on. That's true. This boy want to go watch minutes. I love the way you talk about the weather.
I got some chicken and dumplings waiting for me, too. So,
Jesus Christ.
The way she pointed to that cloud was sexy.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Rock that with you. So, but we about to get the hell up out of here, man. Thank you guys for swinging by. Makeshift put together BGST crew, rocking out. Enjoy your Xbox One X, Omiziago, Burn in Hell. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to my man Omiziago, one of our biggest supporters. Any water t-shirt. It's like catch you guys during the week. Actually, I'll catch you tomorrow. Xbox Beast Fire, God willing, in the creek to rise, like my grandmother say, man. Catch you guys. We out of here, man.
Later.
Bacon. We go. I gotta find it. My shit don't crash. Here you go. We all.